Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 93 of WCW. I am Swarls, and we are right at the brink of doing Slamboree here. That is tomorrow night. We have the card all booked and ready to go. As a reminder, here's what we're doing at this show. Steve Austin is going to defend his WCW title against Arn Anderson. Tag titles will be on the line as the Steiners take on Genichiro Tenryu and Rick Martel. Ric Flair will take on Ricky Steamboat. TV title will be on the line in a casket match as Eddie Guerrero takes on Vampiro. US title will be on the line, Cactus versus Dr. Death. Ken Shamrock will take on Dan Severn in a Lion's Den match with special referee Nobuhiko Takada. I don't know if that's even possible, but we're going to try it. Kurt Hennig will take on Avalanche, and Battle Cat will take on Jean-Paul Levesque. Thank you, Chamo. That first episode of WWE vs. TNA was going crazy, so hope y'all, it seemed like y'all enjoyed that. Oh, Antonio Inoki's gonna retire in 3 months. Oh, we gotta book him in a match. Fuck. Alright, I need to write this down in the notes. This is a Nitro thing, so let's put it under the Nitro pay-per-view. Retiring in 3 months. Alright. We should have somebody retire him, right? Right? Anyway, 81 crazy fans in Manitoba got a great show last night. Then we did 900,000 for Saturday night. Okay. Turn this music down a smidge. Alright. Alright, here we go. Slamboree. We're spending $100,000 on a set. Not enough. $250,000 on a set. And there will be no nights off. Where are we running this pay-per-view? That's a great question. It's May 21st, 1995. Let's see. We haven't been to the Southwest since April, or the Midwest, or the Mid-South. Oh, it's been that long since we've gone to the Mid-South. Let's go to the Mid-South, where we're going to draw 28,000 fans. So let's look for like 23 to 30,000. We got Alamo Stadium in San Antonio, and then we got Ownby Stadium in Dallas. Alright, you know what? I don't really love either of those. Let's look at the Midwest. That's where we also hadn't been in a while. We're only going to do 24,000. Oh, there's like nothing in the Midwest that size. Okay, if we expand it a little bit. Let's go to the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. Home of the Blues. We should probably sell that out, no problem. Should be a good crowd. I don't think we've ever done a show at the Scott Trade Center. At least I don't remember doing one. Automatic selection. You figure it out, game. Alright. Give me some finishes. You've said wait, but it's probably too late. I did wrestle. Oh, did I? Alright. There's no way I also went to the Scott Trade Center for Wrestle War. That's crazy. Alright, well, we fucking love St. Louis. Wow, they're not giving me shit for finishes. Wow, 4 Garbo finishes. They're mad I went to St. Louis again. Jesse's like, I thought we were going to Minnesota. Alright, what we got here? Training. Takada and George South had a fun atmosphere doing karaoke together. Hard to imagine a song these two guys would both know. Richard Morton did some impressions. Eddie Gilbert and Dan Severn also did karaoke. Alright, y'all are going crazy. Trey Martel and Mike Atkins had a blazing argument. Kurt Hennig and Eric Bischoff got into an heated argument. You should back down, Eric. Gary Albright and Todd Champion got into it. Guys, what the fuck is going on? There's been some recent heat between Rick Rude and Arn Anderson. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Randy. Alright, that didn't go great. So let's do like an open forum. Everyone seems mad. Although I guess that wasn't... There's only 4 people here. Alright. Last year's Slamboree, yeah, it was a pretty good show. We had Stan Hansen and Randy Savage in the main. Bam Bam beat Barry Windham to retain the WC. Remember the Barry Windham push in 1994? Arn and Ric Flair beat the Steiners. They are a year later, and the Steiners and Horsemen are still going at it. Steve Austin beat Rick Martel for the U.S. title. Warrior beat Warrior. Terry Funk beat Dan Severn in an all-around town match. The Fantastics and the Gilberts had a pay-per-view match last year. How about that? Good for those guys. Steamboat and Cactus beat the Tully and Kurt. Yes, part of that very long Steamboat and Cactus storyline. All right, well, let's start how you're supposed to start shows with the main event. WCW World Heavyweight title on the line. As stunning Steve Austin is going to take on Arn Anderson. We are going to do a open, slow build match that Steve Austin is going to simply win. I think, you know, I think we're kind of doing this story where Steve is the wrestler of the 90s and he's taking out all these old guys. And I think, although, damn, this Arn Anderson near certainty is tempting. But I'm sure, surely we have just a regular, yes, we do have a regular ass near certainty. Yeah, he's just going to win. Okay, well then do a different... Nick Bockwinkel, you road agent this match. And then let's end the show with Austin just celebrating. We'll call this character development. That would help. And then, as always, before the main event, we will do our 6-minute backstage hype promo. This is probably something I'm just gonna do in every save ever. It's so easy. Or at least every save where I have people that can talk. Arn and Steve hype main event. All right. Put the title. Title's on the line. I'm like 99%. Yeah, title's on the line. Don't do that to me. All right. According to this, the semi-main is the tag title match, but that can't be. It has to be Flair and Steamboat, right? Like, unless we open with Flair and Steamboat, which is not the worst idea, especially if that's also going to be an open slow build match. Yeah, I think so. So let's in fact do the tag titles up here. Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, taking on Tenryu, taking on Rick Martel. I'm also giving them 20. JPL should be, no, well, see, normally you open the pay-per-view with something hot. JPL and Battle Cat is the most second on the card match we've maybe ever booked. Actually, probably since last year's Slamboree when we did the Gilberts and the Fantastics on the second match. the Steiners should also simply win. So I'm trying to think if we want to do, like, botched interference. This is one of the times where I wish we didn't do Notepad time, because if we didn't, I would have planned out the next pay-per-view already, and I would know where we're going with this stuff, but I won't know that until, like, after we do this. The Steiners got to get away from the Horsemen, but at the same time, like, Tenryu and Martel aren't winning these tag titles. Unless they are. But I don't think Scott Steiner has to lose the tag team titles to go for the world title, if that makes sense, right? Like, I think he can simply do both, especially with, like, the state of the tag division on this brand. It's not like he's going to be holding up some awesome tag team division, you know? So let's, because, like, if the Horsemen win, who the hell are they wrestling? The Fantastics? That's not. I mean, that's fine, I guess, but it's nothing crazy. I'm gonna have the Steiners win, just in case. I think maybe we'll do something with this. Not saying we will, but it'll give us, like, something to maybe work with. Let's do, like, a partner miscommunication finish. Just in case. Just in case we decide to fuck around and do something. Next up. Alright, let's just do Flair and Steamboat right now so I don't forget about it. Although I think that will be opening. I think I'm gonna have these guys call it in the ring. Yeah, 92-100 psychology. 87. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's have them call it in the ring. Should be discussed beforehand. Should be going to better matches if the workers have good psychology. Yeah, they have great psychology. Call it in the ring. Should we go full Horseman sweep? Should we have them all lose? I think that's not a bad idea. Although JPL will be winning. Although we could also use that for the storyline. If JPL is the only guy, you know, you all look down on me, but I was the only one that won at the pay-per-view. There's legs to that. You all look down on me. Can you do slow build and call it in the ring? Nah, whatever. Let's do a tease after the match where Steamboat offers a handshake to Ric Flair, and Ric Flair does not accept the handshake. I've been editing those ROH videos for the YouTube channel, and I got handshakes and belt motions back on my mind. Called slow. All right, yeah, we can do slow build too, I guess. I haven't done Call It in the Ring much in, like, the other saves because we never have people that have good enough psychology. Like in AEW, no one had psychology, so we couldn't do it. Or not anyone that it was high enough that I trusted, I guess. Alright, Eddie and Vampiro casket match. I hope there's actually a casket match. Hell yeah. I'm gonna tell them to cook. I don't know if anyone's ever had a steal the show casket match, but they're gonna try. This is obviously the end of the storyline. And I have to think. I think Eddie's just gonna win, right? Although we do want Vampiro to stick around. Well, yeah, because we want him and the other guy to. We want him and Mortis do tag, so Eddie has to win. Let's just have Eddie win, and let's end the storyline. Hello. What's up, Nick? Ray Phoenix and Mil Muertes definitely had a cook casket match. Yeah, there you go. Vampiro was a bit unhappy. Damn, that's crazy. Let's do some dumb bullshit after that match where, like, you know, they put Vampiro in the casket and the lights go out and they send some fucking druids out there. We're not going to have him, like, raise above the screen. We're not going to go Undertaker, you know, at Royal Rumble 94 stupid. But let's do some, like, stupid bullshit. Oh, God, how would you even rate this? This would be, like, Vampiro. I mean, he's simply laying in a casket. So I guess he's truly a background player. I guess, so something is rated. We'll have Eddie Guerrero working the crowd. And then Mortis should also be there as, like, a background player. Acting dead. Fine, we'll make it acting. But that's gonna be fucking bad. Okay. U.S. title, Cactus Jack takes on Dr. Death. This is the wildest brawl that ever wildest brawled. I mean, that's just... If I didn't make this a wild brawl, you guys would have to, like, put me in the loony bin. I think this is another one where Cactus is simply winning. I don't see any reason why Dr. Death would beat him, although Dr. Death, you know, is good and could win this title. We've kind of been pushing Cactus this whole time. And I think he should simply win, unless Dr. Death is mad. Oh, the Cactus Jack one's only a likely... Ooh. Safe bet. That also reminds me, I don't think I did one on the last match. Riley, what's up, man? Did I do one on this one? I didn't. Do we have an Eddie Guerrero? That would be... No? Okay. We are running out of these. Well, there's another safe bet. We'll take that. Yeah, Vampiro's still mad. That's fine. Shamrock Severn blow off Lions Den match special ref Nobuhiko Takada. Oh boy. Do you think there's a Lions Den match? Fuck. Okay. Now we have to look at all of the 1v1 matches and see what's closest to it. Do you think there's like an MMA match or a shoot match or something? Shoot fight. Let's do shoot fight. That's, you know, that's what we're going for, right? Dan, Ken. We don't need to create it. Shoot fight's close enough. 92-100 tech. 82-100 tech. Okay, this is opening the show now with the tech masterclass. They're getting in the cage and doing holds, baby. Like we all wanted. Also, like, here's the thing. I don't really want Takada to actually be the ref because he's gonna be bad at refereeing. So I think we're simply gonna put him at ringside. If y'all don't mind that we just like cheat a little bit here. I think Ken needs to just win. I don't think. I think Takada should call it right down the middle, and then we could do Dan versus Takada off that, where Dan could be like, "Fuck you, Takada, you screwed me over," and then Takada could be like, "I called it right down the fucking like I don't know what the fuck you want from me. I called it as straight as possible." Caveman, what's up? Okay, booking details was not there, right? I didn't imagine that. That was weird. Oh, we have to do a we. All right, I guess we will do the lines then. Let's add new match by copying 1v1 shoot fight. 1v1 Lions Den. Lions Den. Da, da, da. Match held. No. I guess this would be a steel cage. And we want low injury. Well, I guess injury risk is the same. But we want low content. Has name value, sure. Save. Okay, great. Everyone's good with that. I don't know why I'm doing book analysis. I have this show booked. Kurt Hennig versus Avalanche. I think this shall be the storytelling match. Because boy, oh boy, these guys have been telling the story. Also, I forgot to do a finish on this one. Although, I think... Do we have a Ken? Do we have a Dan? No. But we're running low. How many more good ones? Oh, we have one more near certainty and one more safe bet. We have a safe bet and a certainty. Do we have a Hennig or an Avalanche? That would be... No. Do we have a Battle Cat or a Jean Paul? If we had a Jean Paul, that would be crazy. Okay. I would like this one to go well. So I'm going to give this one the near certainty, which is kind of nuts. Also, after that match, I'm going to do, like, 4-minute, let's do, like, storyline development. Where Dan is mad at Takada, and then Takada is like, what the fuck are you mad at me for? I called it down the middle. Dan blames Takada for loss. Takada called it down the middle. Is it Takada? Are you in this storyline? You are not. Let's fix that. Okay. Anyway, back to Kurt Hennig and Avalanche. That is such the storyline match. It's like 12 minutes. They're telling stories, bro. Now, here's the question. This feud is going to continue. And this feud has been all about Sherry Martel. I don't think I've had Sherry set the turn, have I? No. She's better as a heel. Okay. So I think what we do here is we do the swerve, bro. We do the swerve, bro. You give Avalanche the win with interference from Sherry Martel. And you give them... Oh, we have a Kurt Hennig creative finish, though. Oh, it's a safe bet. Ooh, okay. Kurt Hennig safe bet. All right, new plan. Kurt Hennig is gonna win by disqualification. Now that doesn't even make sense for the double turn, though. Botched interference? Yeah, that could be. I think a DQ. Yeah, let's do a DQ. And we'll do interference from Sherry. And then we'll just have to do a post-match angle. That's fine. Oh, I already did that. Okay, great. Kurt's not turning. That Kurt turning was never one of the options. And then let's do a thing afterwards. So that was a surprise, I suppose. Let's have Avalanche continuing the attack on Kurt while Sherry, goes, haha, you idiot, you thought I was interested in you when I'm with Avalanche? This is a real man. No, the swerve is that we thought Sherry was into Kurt, but she wasn't into Kurt. It was a swerve, bro. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, Battle Cat will take on Jean-Paul Levesque. And Jean-Paul Levesque will just win. I think we have one safe bet left. I could be wrong about that. Yes, we have one safe bet left. Beautiful. Battle Cat is extremely unhappy. Damn, that's crazy. We have to open with this fucking Lion's Den match, which would also probably make the most sense, like, logistically. Got to get that cage out there. And then Battle Cat and Jean-Paul Levesque, yep. And then Kurt Hennig and Avalanche, yep. I guess Flair and Steamboat is probably just going second to last now. Okay, we have a Wild Brawl, and we have a Steal the Show match back-to-back here. So let's move this around. Let's swap this with the storytelling match. Nope, I fucked it. All right. There we go. I would like to put something between these two long matches. Let's do like a backstage thing where Rick is like he's like behind the curtain and he's about to go out for his match, and then Tenryu and Martel they walk through the curtain and he's basically like You know, you two, you blew it. I'm gonna go show you how it's done for real. Woo! You know, that kind of stuff. Flair, B rates, Tenru, and Martel says he's gonna show them how it's done. Let's put that up here. No, these horsemen, these are this is kind of just a collection of guys, you know. It's not your daddy's horsemen, I guess. Who needs a dark match? Battle Cat and Vampire are mad. That's fine. Oh, Terry Funk. Oh, we need to do some god awful dark match with Terry Funk and Richard Slinger. All right, pre-show All-Star 8-man tag, and on the babyface side, we'll have Terry Funk, Jun Akiyama, and the Fantastics. Taking on Richard Slinger, the Gilberts, and their good friend, Dave Finlay. What a match. Funk Slinger. Funk needs to win here. Okay, we can do that. Terry Funk, you can beat Doug Gilbert. Yeah, I think that's it. We used basically everyone but Razor Ramon, so mission accomplished. Perfectly booked show as far as I'm concerned. Listen, 100. We got to go for 100. If it's not 100, it's a letdown. So we're going for 100. Let's see. I mean, we got a 72 for this. This is going to be a good show. If we're getting a 72 for just like, there's these two like low card feuds that we're not doing anything. Yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be fine. Uh-oh. No one sold, and there was no psychology in our Lions Den match. Well, that's a shame, because otherwise this probably would have gotten, like, a 90. So that sucks. But, you know, at least Takada was there. Does Takada have selling and psychology? I should check that. Otherwise, he's just also going to do that with Dan. In fact, let me do that now before I forget. Yeah, you've got some. You've got some. I think it's going to be more than Dan. Dan must have nothing. Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine with the Takada match. Oh, fuck. Takada was... Takada was supposed to be in this, but he wasn't. It was just Dan being mad. Dan shaking his fist at the audience. Fuck. An 82 for Battle Cat and John Paul Levesque? Holy shit. I mean, Battle Cat was very right to be mad. But he did not play the game. Eddie Guerrero got a broken finger. Damn, this is another match we got fucked on. Because this got a wrestling rating of 94 and a crowd of 81. So it should have gotten like a 91 or a 90, but instead we got an 82. That's brutal. Is there anything else wrong with it? I would imagine it's just the injury. Yeah, it's just the injury. Damn. Close the casket on his fingers. Fuck. Yes, thank you, Dr. Death. And then spooky bullshit. Send out the druids. I'm sure at this point everyone is just calling Vampiro and Undertaker like knockoff, and we are not beating the allegations. A broken finger shouldn't kill a rating like other injuries. I agree. Unless you're like Sin Cara in that one match where he broke his finger and just like walked up the ramp. I was like, I'm done. Fuck this. If he did that, then yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, a 90 for Kurt and Avalanche telling stories. They loved the swerve, bro. They were into it. They were like, I knew she didn't like him. 75 for Avalanche beating up Kurt while Sherry laughs at him. A 90 for Cactus and Dr. Death. I believe that is the cap for a 10-minute wild brawl, so we'll take that. I wonder if these guys could do like a 14-minute wild brawl. I don't think Dr. Death would have the stamina at this point, and I don't know if Cactus does either. It's hard to do a long wild brawl, both in the game and real life. I assume. All right, here we go. Now we're talking 99 for the Steiners against Tenryu and Rick Martel. I'm sure we all assumed when I signed Rick Martel, he'd be in a 99 rated match, right? We all knew that. We all knew the model had that in him. Damn, Tenryu and Steiner both ripped. Then we got an 87 for Rick being like, let me show you how it's done. Can him and Steamboat get 100? Oof. Another 99. So close. Yeah, the creative finish was a success. I kind of feel like if a match gets a 95 wrestling rating and then you get a fucking bonus, I feel like we could have gotten the 100. I kind of feel like we could have gotten the 100 here. I mean, Martel was very good, but, like, not really in 1995. Who's taking off the Steiners? No one. Forever champs. Uh, 75 for Rick turning down a handshake. A 100 for our Arn Anderson and Steve Austin hype promo. And a 91 for Steve and Arn. Oh, the creative finish was a failure. Oh, it was the only failure on the entire show. Oh, chat, we might not get 100. Hashtag the streak might be over. Oh, that is really unfortunate. $75 for Steve celebrating. 98. Burr, burr, burr. Burr, burr, burr. Can't keep doing that or YouTube will flag it. That's got to be public domain, actually, right? Damn, that sucks. Because if that would have hit, this match is another 99. because this is like minus 5 points, but if it was plus 5 points, that's like a 9-point swing. Damn. Oh, who do we talk to in the locker room? Probably. Oh, Vampiro was mad. Let's talk to Vampiro. Battle Cat was mad. Let's talk to Battle Cat. And then the fucking Steiner brothers. Everyone's pleased. We are not going to get 100s in TNA land. Yeah, Nick's probably going to get it. I mean, not like immediately, but a couple months in, Nick could probably be getting 100s. Especially if he stops fucking around with his creative team. Eddie Guerrero, broken fingies, 7 days. He's fine. We made $2.4 million. You know what? I think everything's fine. Pop recap, Midwest, Maritimes. Ooh, we have a 97 in Kanto. Chat, the region in the world where WCW is the most popular is Tokyo, Japan. That's crazy. Southeast, fuck them. Tokyo, baby. By all accounts, Razor Ramon is very angry with how his WCW career is going and maybe looking to leave. Is this something you're considering? I mean, fuck him. He needs to learn to be a team player and stop rocking the boat. Fuck you. Double birding my monitor right now. Too late. You recently made a new signing, Piano 4. What play? All right. I gotta play it by ear. Any comments or thoughts on the upcoming retirement of Antonio Inoki? Damn it, it's definitely the right time to retire. That's fucking brutal. We're gonna give him a big send-off. An impressive physique never hurts in pro wrestling, and Ron Simmons has been sporting a new ripped body recently. Is this commitment likely to result in a boost of his WCW career? I'm happy to see such a commitment. It's a good sign. People are calling WCW Slamboree 1995 a success, but what's your view on the show? I mean, listen, it was we're disappointed that we didn't get 100. It was a 98 rated show, so it was a huge success. How concerned are you by the off night Dan Severn had? I'm more concerned that he doesn't have any psychology and can't sell. But I'm sure it was just a one-off. I mean, Ron's been a integral part of whatever brand he's been on since 1992 when the save started. He hasn't been the champion or anything, but he's, been U.S. champ, tag champ, always has an angle going. Eddie Guerrero got broken fingies. We got 715,000. That's a crazy number because our TV rating is like 900,000. So we're converting like 80% of the people that watch, which is just not how that works. Also, 500,000 people watched it in Japan or Mexico or wherever it was on regular TV. Yeah, we can check JPL's pop. Oh, 50 Papa. Oh, look at those. Look at those colors change. He's a regular mid-Carter. Now, if only he was any good in the ring, we'd really be getting somewhere. All right, let's do the Notepad before we jump into Nitro. So our next Saturday pay-per-view will be Bash at the Beach on July 30th. Bash at the Beach. Saturday. All right. So who's going for the WCW title? I know you guys are all gonna say like Scott Steiner, but I think you save Scott Steiner for like Starrcade, right? So if you're not doing Scott Steiner, Eddie just had a big win, but he has that TV title. But also, like, who cares that he has the TV title? Can Shamrock just beat Dan Severn? Is that crazy? Is Steve Austin and Ken Shamrock in '95 a crazy main event? Especially because Shamrock didn't sell or have psychology. Probably not a good idea to give him. We already did Steamboat. I feel like it has to be Eddie Guerrero, which is kind of crazy. Shamrock will be helped by Austin. Yeah, I mean, Austin should have enough psychology in selling. Let's look. Steve, very good psychology, very good selling. How popular is Ken right now? 70s. Well, we've kind of rocket packed in the past couple of months. He has 80 star quality, so Ken could be a guy if we just got behind him. That's true. We could simply fuck Eddie out of the TV title. That would be easy. He is more popular than Ken, and he would definitely have a better match with Steve. No offense to Ken. He's got broken fingies right now, but that's all right. All right. So new question: if he is losing this TV title, who's he losing it to? Oh. It's John Paul Levesque. Yeah, JPL's getting the TV title. All right, that's settled. Inoki retirement match. He's on Nitro. He's on the other brand. All right, WCW title. Austin versus Eddie Guerrero. We're going to continue Hennig versus Avalanche. We know that for sure. Can Tenryu? How long have you? No recent turns. Better as a heel, but I mean, when you can do Tenryu and Ric Flair, I feel like you just kind of got to do it, right? Can JPL beat him even without dropping Eddie's pop like 10 points? Yeah, probably. He's got 50 pop. He's not like a complete jabron anymore. Who replaces 10? Listen, do we need to keep the four? I think we've had enough four horsemen, haven't we? TV title, JPL versus U.S. title. Do we run Cactus and Dr. Death back? Is there like 2 more months of juice in that? There probably is. Their thing kind of just started. The new lineup was formed very recently. Yes, but also it was like a... I don't want to say it was shitty, but it was like very much a like, oh, my guys left me, so now I came up with a, you know, I pulled some guys together to make a new group. Like, that was kind of the vibe. Yeah, Cactus versus... Yeah, that's... Yeah, I think that's good, too. Like, like we could do Cactus and Dr. Death in, like, an ambulance match or some shit. Well, the titles aren't all on heels because we've got the signers who are stuck with these tag titles. All right, Arn. What's Arn doing? Arn versus JPL would be fucking crazy, but Arn's not gonna put him over. Or Arn shouldn't put him over. Oh, we're doing Takada and Severn. That's obvious. One, two, three. This should also be a stip match. I guess we could do JPL versus Martel, but I don't know which one of them you turn face in that situation. He is amazing at being a heel. Yeah, that checks out. And I would assume Rick Martel is the same. No, he's face or heel. Although him and Tenryu weren't getting along at the end of that match. I don't know. Maybe we do keep the Horsemen together, but I don't know what you do otherwise. Rick turns on Scott to join the Horsemen. That is a bold idea. Especially while they're still tag champions. But we could... I guess they could lose the tag titles. And I mean, truly, we have nothing... Like, as a tag team, there's no one left for them to wrestle. It's not the worst idea. Yeah, he can be a face or a heel. Damn, that is crazy. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some kind of rematch. Well, no, they can't lose to Tenryu, because Tenryu's leaving. So, who the fuck are they gonna lose these tag titles to? I guess they could lose it to, like, Flair and Martel, or Flair and JPL, or Martel and JPL. But JPL's also winning the TV title. All right. Let's throw some of this out. Let's pare this down to what we really know we're doing. We're definitely doing Austin and Eddie. We're definitely doing Hennig versus Avalanche. I would say this is also a nope. Or like we don't know that for sure. Cactus versus Williams in a stip match. That's definitely happening. And Takada and Severn is definitely happening. Okay, for sure. The Imperial Immortus versus the Steiners is like not a big pay-per-view match. Although I guess it could be. Are you saying that's who they could job to? And then, yeah, Let me look at events here. How many more pay-per-views do we have until Starrcade? Let's do a little bit of long-term booking here. So we have Bash at the Beach, then Worlds Collide would be Nitro, then we have Halloween Havoc, and then Fall Brawl. Okay, so there's really only after Bash at the Beach, there's only one more pay-per-view before Starrcade. So yeah, they could lose the titles to Vampiro and Mortis at Bash. Then Rick can turn on him. We can do Rick and Scott Halloween Havoc, and then we could give Scott the title shot at Starrcade. I think that's the plan. So let's add some of this stuff back. Flair vs. Tenryu back on the menu. TV title. JPL versus Funk, probably? Akiyama would be fun, actually. I don't know if those are two guys that can have a pay-per-view match. Tag titles. Steiners. Woos. Belts. To Vampiro. Let's not... Well, let's do it like this. Steiners versus Coven. Title change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we still have Arn and we still have Shamrock. I mean, both those guys could wrestle JPL, but the problem is JPL can't beat either of them, which is why I kind of like Akiyama as an opponent. Saturday. Show me baby faces on Saturday. We got Arn. What's your pop, Akiyama? 30? I don't think you can lose to John Paul Levesque. Or I don't think you can have a pay-per-view. You could definitely lose to John Paul Levesque. Oh, Steve-O's not doing anything either. Fuck me. Oh my god. Okay. Do you think Steamboat would lose to John Paul Levesque? I know he's usually pretty chill, but that might be pushing it. Alright, this definitely needs to be a 9-match pay-per-view. Who's left on the heel side? I guess Martel is available. And that's it. Alright. So one of you guys has to turn heel. One of you baby faces. Battle Cat could turn heel. Maybe. Evil Battle Cat. Ah. That hasn't been long enough. Ken wouldn't make any sense. Steamboat. You can't turn Steamboat. I think it's too soon to turn... Fuck, we're fucked. We booked ourselves into a corner. Yeah, he just turned face. Fuck. Alright. Maybe Tenryu leaving the Horsemen's a bad idea. Maybe instead of doing that, we just do, like, Shamrock versus Tenryu or something like that. Steamboat versus Tenryu, because Tenryu's like, hey man, I could beat Ricky Steamboat. That's a story, kinda. Have we done them in a singles match? They had one match on a Saturday night that only got an 83 for some reason. What the fuck was that about? Oh, it was probably a no storyline thing. Alright. Let's forget turning Tenryu. Let's do Steamboat versus Tenryu. And let's do Flair. I just thought of something. We did. Have we done Flair Arn 1-on-1? We did that, right? I don't know that we have. Am I losing my mind? Oh, all these matches they've been. No, we have not done the singles match. Well, I mean, how have we not done that? That's fucking crazy. All right, well that settles that. Tenryu will say, I'm going to take care of Steamboat, and then Flair will make fun of Arn for losing, and then Arn will be like, you lost too, stupid. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then who is Shamrock wrestling? Shamrock needs a match. Shamrock Big Time needs a match. No, Steiner's breakup is still going to happen. They're still dropping these titles to the Spooky Boys. But Rick will either not join the Horsemen, or will just do it, you know, because he's a bad guy or whatever. We'll figure something out. I don't know. I don't know how we haven't done the singles match. They did the big 8. We did the big 8-man tag at Spring Stampede. We did the big gimmick match, and then that went right into Arn getting a title shot. I feel like we kind of did that out of order. I feel like we probably should have done him and Rick and then the title shot, but I don't know. I was excited, I guess. Yeah, we did Ric Flair versus Kurt Hennig got sold out. We did Arn versus Tenryu. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we still don't know who JPL's. I mean, it should probably be Terry Funk. I feel like Terry Funk won't be that mad about losing to JPL? Question mark. And then Shamrock. There is like no big heel left for him to wrestle, huh? I mean, there's Richard Slinger. He's not exactly a big heel. I guess there's Rick Martel? Yeah, Rick Martel is the only... Yeah. I don't know... No, but Martel already did the feud with Catch Club because they were stinky and he sprayed arrogance on them. We can try Tenryu face. Yeah, we can. There's a lot of time to do stuff. All right. I'm I'm just gonna write down Shamrock versus I don't know because he should have a match, but I want to move on and start doing other things now. I grow tired of doing this, so we're just going to leave that as a questionable 9th match for now and move on. So anyway, what we're building to for Bash at the Beach is Austin defending versus Eddie. We have to screw Eddie out of the TV title. We're gonna do Hennig versus Avalanche in some kind of stipulation. We're gonna do Cactus and Dr. Death for the U.S. title, some kind of stipulation. Takada and Severn, Steamboat versus Tenru, Flair versus Arn, TV title JPL versus Terry Funk. Steiner is taking on Duck Coven, and then Shamrock will do something. I don't know. Terry is 50, but I don't know. It's just funny to think about, like, oh, he's 50, like, because he wrestles on TV every week for, like, 6 more years after this. Like, 2001 WCW, he's still, like, out there every week, man. Alright, let's go back to Nitro. Oh, what was this Cactus Jack interview? Oh, he was on national TV. He's talking to Conan. All right, let's do this Nitro. No nights off. All right, poor Mid South didn't get that pay-per-view, so let's give him a Nitro. Same difference, right? Last time we were here, we went to Kimbrough Memorial Stadium. This time, let's go to Houston. Oh, that's Dallas. Whatever. Let's go to Dallas. Booking team meeting. We probably need to replenish some of those finishes we used because we used all the good ones. Do I need storyline or character ideas for what we're doing? I don't remember. I don't know. Let's just do finishes until I think of something. They are not giving me finishes, man. They're killing me. A likely for Ricky Steamboat. And a likely for Jumbo. Cool. Alright, I'm glad Jim Ross and Misawa are getting along. Mark Youngblood wants the job. Yeah, we've had him do a lot of jobs. Bunkhouse Buck wants to work. I think I'm good on Bunkhouse Buck. Training. Lance Storm. Annoyed Kikuchi. Randy Savage yelled at Lance Storm. Alright, great. Alright, last week we did Stan Hansen and Rick Rude, and then Rude and Marty. Okay, so we're turning Misawa babyface to team with Stan. Inoki told Kobashi it's time to go for the WCW, and now Inoki's retiring. So there's probably some way to tie that into that. Spoon Dangerous Alliance, defeat Sting, Big Red Banner, Dustin Rhodes, Bam Bam Belt Motion. Alright. Let's do a promo with Inoki and Kobashi. Where Kobashi... You know what? Let's send Austin out there too, because he hasn't really been involved because he's been over on Saturday. We're going to do a promo where Kobashi says, you know what, Inoki-san, you've been so helpful to me, and you announced your retirement this week, and to honor your retirement, I'm going to win the WCW title. And then Austin's going to come out and be like, no, you're not. What? To win WCW title to honor Inoki's retirement. Can Inoki have a good 1-1 retirement match? I don't think so. We haven't booked him in a match a single time, but he's pretty, like, dunzo. He's got 35 stamina. It should probably be a tag match with, like, Kobashi. And Masawa's going to be turned face, too. It should, although it is funny that it's like, oh, yeah, he's got a team with his boys, Kobashi and Masawa. We're very much not his boys. But, yeah, it should probably be, like, a tag or a 6-man. For sure. Alright. See, I believe Owen and Regal were making fun of Holy Demon Army for only beating jabronis. So let's have them beat some non-jabronis. I don't know if I have any non-jabronis on this brand. That's kind of the problem. That do be the problem. Yep. Okay. Well. What's your pop, Kawada? You're recognizable. 48. Taue, way less than that. Let me see. Steve Regal. Owen, what's your pop? 79. Oh boy. Steve Regal, what's yours? 80. Okay. This is bold. Maybe we just start by talking to him. Hey man, do you think you'd put over Toshiaki Kawada? No. Okay. I'm glad we asked. What the fuck? Okay, that was weird. Anyone here with pop? El Gigante? You can't call El Gigante a jabroni. He's 7 foot tall. And you can't teach that. Who cares that he has all zeros and is horrendous? Eric Watts? Bill Watts' son? He's not a jabroni. Slick? Mongo? Why does Mongo have 0 pop? That seems rude. Like, he was a famous football player. He should have, especially, like, in the Great Lakes or whatever, he should have pop. That seems fucked. Alright. Let's do... Can the Headhunters come back over? Are they? I mean, I don't know if... Well, Kawada's recognizable, right? Let's give him the Headhunters. Headhunter A has an injury? Who knew? I didn't... What the fuck? Who's fucking recognizable? Just show me recognizable. Too Cold's recognizable, although we just got him to recognizable, so I don't want him to, like... Oh, do you think these guys could beat, like, Atlantis and Blue Demon? That's kind of a fucked up thing to do with Atlantis and Blue Demon, but also that match would be sick. Like, this doesn't have to be a squash. These guys can just, like, cook. The thing is, I think Atlantis is going to be like, no, I'm not jobbing to them. Because I'm a giant star in Mexico. And these guys are like, oh, he's a giant star in Japan. Yeah, maybe. Let's try it. I'm going to give this match like 16. 16, open. Kawada pins Blue Demon. CMLL title's not on the line. Because we are not in CMLL. Alright. And then let's send out Owen and Regal. To basically be like, alright, you beat the CMLL Tag Champs. You know what? You want a shot at Great American Bash? You got it. Owen and Regal are finally impressed. They announce match against HDA at Gab. Okay. Too much Akira Taue and too much Blue Demon. Alright. What if we took Akira Taue out of this? What if Akira Taue was not standing there? Would we all be cool with that? It's just too much. It's not far too much, so I think it should be fine. Alright, let's book... Let's figure out what the main event is. We should probably do something to continue Misawa's face turn. We gotta get him, like, interconnected with Stan somehow. Let's do... Let's do Rick Rude, Marty, and I guess Misawa, who'll be on the heel side for now. Oh, I have the fucking brand. I have to turn that off. That's gonna drive me insane. As I was saying, Rick Rude, Marty, and Misawa will take on Stan Hansen and his good friends. You know what? Owen and Steve Regal have really been doing nothing but talking and stuff. They could team with Stan. Why not? They're the tag champs. And they just fought Rude and Marty, so there's some interconnection here. Alright, we are going to have Rick Rude get the win over Stan Hansen, and it's going to be tainted. Stan is unhappy. Stan Hansen is going to win this match by disqualification. When he gets hit with a weapon by Rick Rude and or Marty Jannetty. And then afterwards, we're going to do an angle where Marty and Rick are putting the boots to Stan. And they're like, Misawa, get in here, brother. Come help us put the boots in. But Misawa, he's conflicted. Oh, and he doesn't know if he wants to do it. And they're like, hey, come on, Misawa, what's taking so long? And he's not gonna do it. He's gonna leave. Rude and Marty want Misawa to help them attack Stan, but he's conflicted. Booking Misawa like Abyss. That I should be imprisoned. Alright, we don't have a storytelling match yet, but we can fix that. Alright. So Ron finally had his big yeah, he sent in a promo from home so he gets yeah. He was doing the thing where he was getting cut off. Okay. Let's have Dusty and Dustin cut a promo. We've booked a lot of wrestling on this show so far. What a concept. Where they're basically going to be like, you know, Ron, you know, if you need to say something to us, you could have just come to us backstage or off camera and said something. You didn't have to attack us and then send a video in from home. You know, we thought you would face us man to man. Yeah, so you know, Dusty be like, yeah, so I talk a lot, baby. You know, you just gotta fucking cut me off sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta jump in to get a word in edgewise. That doesn't make me a bad guy. My Dusty is so bad. I don't have a Dusty. The Rhodes don't understand why Ron is mad at them. That's probably the best way to talk about that. And Sabu. Also, fuck you, Sabu. Let's get Sabu a match. Sabu and Sean Waltman. Uh, 8 minutes. Sabu will simply win. Alright. Did we already do the thing? Yeah, they already did the thing where they were like, Bam Bam, like, Bam Bam, you should get the title shot with the Triple Crown instead of me. And then last week, he won, and then you did the belt motion. Okay. So let's do a big in-ring promo with Bam Bam, with Pillman, with Sting, and Vader can be there. Basically, they're going to come out and say, you know, you said I didn't deserve crap. Well, I pinned you last week, Sting, you fraud. And then Sting's going to come out and be like, you know what, Bam Bam? You want a match so bad? You know what? Credit where credit's due. You pinned me last week. You want a shot at this Triple Crown? You got it. Great American Bash. And then, yeah, I get fucking Vader's going to have to talk. Fuck. And then Vader could be like, well, if you two are wrestling, I guess that leaves you and me, Pillman. And then I imagine Pillman being like, oh, no. Oh, no. And Vader be like, I already talked to the board. Big promo setting up Sting versus Bam Bam. And Vader versus Pillman at Great American Bash. Alright. When you think belt motion, who comes to mind? The Ring of Honor 2003 roster, where no one could cut a promo. So we had to do a lot of belt motions and handshakes and, you know, two guys stare at each other kind of promos. In particular, probably like, I don't know, AJ Styles, because AJ was always at the top of the card in 2003 ROH, but he could not cut a promo to save his life, which is probably going to be a problem in this new WWE versus TNA save, because I am still focusing the company around AJ Styles, and he still can't talk. So, you know, we'll figure it out. Jumbo. You're still going after Gordy, right? Yeah. And then we still... I mean, I'm looking at two feuds that are going on right here next to each other. Let's turn the brands back off. Let's do a 2v2 match. Let's do Jumbo Tsuruta and Ultimo Dragon against El Dandy and Terry Gordy. Now this... Oh, no. Jumbo and Ultimo don't have any chemistry. Oh, come on, game. How could the game do this to me? All right, okay, we can make it. We can make this a 6-man. We can make this a 6-man. No problem. Jumbo, Ultimo, Terry Gordy, El Dandy. And we need a third face and a third heel. This is doing the thing again where it's playing music that is not from this playlist. I hate when it does that. It always freaks me out that it's not actually going to be YouTube friendly. Alright. Oh, yeah, because I have the brand split off. Okay. You know what? Too Cold. Too Cold is a good third person on that team. I don't think we have to look much further. Although American Love Machine is also mad at El Dandy because he just lost his title to him. That probably makes a little bit more sense. And then heels? Who's the third heel on this team? Oh, Negro Casas, as always. Now this is wrestling. We have not yet done the storytelling match, so I guess you're looking at it. El Dandy probably needs a win. He can... I mean, there's no shot he can beat Ultimo, right? Like, there's no... Let's try it. Let's try it. I would love for him to get a tainted win over Ultimo. That would be crazy. If not, he'll just pin Love Machine again. Oh, he did it! Let's go! El Dandy belt motion. Well, he already has... Well, he has a belt. That's going to be over his shoulder. And then he's going to belt motion around the waist. So he's going to... Because he's going to have two belts. Let's call this double belt motion. And Ultimo, he's mad. Okay, and that's the show. I think you got to open with this big Kobashi Inoki thing. All right, Owen and Regal finally being impressed and then going right out for a 6-man tag is crazy. So let's put this like way up here. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you know what? We didn't do anything with the women, and we do have like 6 minutes left, which would be enough for a promo. But I don't think any of them could go to promo. Let's see. Manami. Well, we don't know. And then Cynthia. Cynthia, we don't know. I assume at this point you've both been here long enough that you speak English. Yes. Yes. Alright, it's been a while since we've done a good old-fashioned cook test. Manami, you got 6 minutes. Go out there and call Cynthia Moreno a bitch or whatever you've got to do. Where the fuck do you put this? Probably like here. Let's see how this goes. I don't know. Main event is decent, but I'm a little afraid that the stay-in storyline isn't that hot and it might get dragged down. So I'm gonna guess like an 87 for this show. Okay, 96 for this. This was really good. Still weird to think that I could just run Inoki and Kobashi out there for like 96 promos, but you know what? If it works, it works. Okay, an 81. Math not mathing, but we'll take it. We will for sure take it. This is the kind of match that in real life I think would either be sick as hell or like a total cluster. And these four guys wouldn't work well together at all. But hey, you know, according to this, in Dallas in 1995, is pretty good. And then Owen and Regal came out and we're like, all right, fine. $59. Okay. I mean, that wasn't a disaster. But it wasn't good. Probably going to keep Manami out of the kitchen. But, I mean, when you see those 55 to 100s on the Mike's Charisma, you gotta check. Gotcha. Who knows? Some of these Japanese people we've brought in have been promo gods. Maybe she was one of them. Had to find out. Hell yeah. This is another match that like would either kick so much ass or would be a complete disaster. But this one went better than the other one, really. Really, this match was quite good, honestly. El Dandy getting a 77 in America. Let's go. Then a 75 for Dandy 2 belts. 89 for this big long talking segment. I think Vader probably took 5 or 6 points off this, but that's fine. Because it didn't make sense for Pillman to challenge him. Well, I guess he could have. I guess he could have been like, Vader, you big fat idiot. 78 for Sabu simply beating Sean Waltman. We take. 76 for the Rhodeses. The Rhodeses used to really carry promos for us, but that was back in TEW 2020. Since we've gone over to 9, managers are not as OP at promos as they used to be. I think it's because of the momentum, and I know I could be getting the momentum. I always forget. 84. That's what I was worried about with this. I was worried that we would get... Which really sucks, because the wrestling rating got a 91, so this was a great match. But the crowd was just like, not as into it as they could be. Oh, we got double low heat. Oh, yeah, because we also advanced the tag team. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That Owen and Regal were going to advance that storyline by being in the match together. Yeah. Yeah, that's on me. Dusty had an ego death between games. Not quite. And 75 for Misawa acting. 85. Oh, I didn't get the bonus, and I think we also got dinged for Blue Demon and Akira Taue. All right. Well, you know what? I thought this was a good show game. Okay? All right? Okay? Oh, chat. Nick, I don't know if you're still here, but this is something I was thinking about on the episode, your Raw, where you didn't get the angle bonus. Is it possible that it's like a percentage thing? That, like, if you run, like, the more angles you run, the more varied it has to be. Like, if you only run 4 promos, like 3 of them are different, you get the bonus. But if you run like 12 promos, you have to do like 6 different kinds or something. Is that possible? I don't know. Throwing it out there. Makes as much sense as anything. Yeah, I mean, it's basically cheating to leave it the way I leave it, but like long term it's good because that match they just had will gain heat for that storyline. But the short term hurt was that, there wasn't enough heat for the main event. But hey, you know what? The Maritimes is happy, and that's what really matters. Is this a current picture of Sweet Soraya, or has she just always looked like that? Paul Levesque went from average to muscular. He heard he was winning that TV title. Got on the gas. 836,000 for Nitro. Cool. Man, I don't even know if we're going to make it to Super Viernes. We still got a Saturday night to do. It's already almost 10. We spent a long time doing Notepad time. And the pay-per-view, really. Devon got whiplash neck strain at SMW last night. That's a shame. But hey, we drew 101 fans in British Columbia. Smoky Mountain has their new TV deal on Prime Sports West. But more of the same here. Although it's going to be big that they're now on a network that has coverage everywhere, even if that coverage is tiny. Because they should be giving those guys boosts all across the U.S. All right, let's book a Saturday. Yeah, let's go to the good old Southeast. Last time we went to Florida. Memphis Pyramid, sure. We haven't got a good creative finish all stream, so I'm gonna keep grinding until they give us one. Nope. Hey, near 70 for Bam Bam Bigelow. They find alright, here we go. Give me a storyline idea. Nope. Why are these all so bad? Give me a storyline idea. A likely for Sting. I don't need that. Give me a storyline idea. God. Buck Quartermain wants to hang out. Yeah, you can hang out, Buck. Debbie Combs wants to hang out. I don't really know who Debbie Combs is, but like, sure. Steve Armstrong ribbed the locker room. Joey Maggs did karaoke. Ricky Steamboat did training. Cactus and Doug got in a fight. All right. All right, we got a lot going on here. Where do you even start? I don't think Eddie needs to immediately lose. All right, let's start with this. Let's start with this. Four Horsemen promo. It was a bad night for the Horsemen at Slamboree. And they're going to come out. John Paul's got to talk. They're basically going to come out, and here's what's going to... They're all going to be like, oh, it was a bad night for the Horsemen. You know, none of us came out victorious, blah, blah, blah. And then John Paul's going to be like, well, actually, I won my match. And they're going to kind of bicker a little bit. You know, Tenru's going to be like, I can't believe you lost to Steamboat. And then Flair's going to be like, well, you guys didn't win either. And then Tenru's going to be like, well, that's because Martel ran into me. And they're just kind of going to yell at each other a little bit. And then finally, you know, Flair's going to be like, all right, enough, all right? Tenru, if you think Steamboat is so easy to beat, why don't you beat him? And you, kid, you think you're so tough? Why don't you win some gold, all right? I'm a 16-time world... I don't even know if it's probably not 16 times in 1990, but I'm a 16-time world champion. You don't talk to me like that. And I'm like, all right, okay. Horsemen bicker about their very bad, no good Slamboree. I guess they should be talking about Steamboat. All right, and then Hennig and Avalanche is all right. We need a Kurt Hennig promo. Where he's basically going to be like, you know, Sherry and Avalanche, you guys really think you got one over on me. But listen, I was never into Sherry. You were coming on to me. I'm relieved that you're not into me. Like, you guys are all proud of yourselves. For what? I didn't fall for this. I was trying to stay as far away from you as possible. You guys are weird. And I want a rematch, not just because I lost the match, not just because of the DQ finish we had, but because you're so weird. I want to beat you guys up for being weird. Oh, should we send Arn out during that Horseman promo? No, actually. Rick, when Rick yells at those guys, he's going to be, you know, Tenru, you take out Steamboat. John Paul, you win a belt. As for me, I have some unfinished business to take care of. And that'll be like a hint that he's going to go after Arn. All right, I need to book a match for the show. Because mostly what I have is promos. Let's see. I mean, the Catch Club stuff could definitely continue. Cactus and Williams could continue. Yeah, let's do... No, Takada and Shamrock have no fucking chemistry. That's why they've never been a tag team. Let's do a 6-man. Let's do Takada, Ken Shamrock, Dan over here. Who's Dan's friend? Or friends? Oh, he could team with the Gilberts. And then we could put Jun Akiyama on this side. Now we're talking. Look at this fucking match. This is not the main event. This is the mid-card storytelling match. Takada should beat Dan, or Dan should beat Takada, I would say, is what we should do here. Dan is fairly poor. Dan needs a win for sure. I don't even know if Dan can get a tainted win over Takada, but let's try it. No, he's extremely unhappy. Okay. You can beat Jun Akiyama. Sorry, Jun. Alright. Steamboat. Steamboat simply having a match could certainly be the main event. Even if it was just against like a mid-carder. Although I don't know who that would be. Avalanche in the Cactus. Eddie could defend the TV title. That's the thing we don't do very often. We almost never defend the TV title on TV. Let's do Eddie Guerrero versus Avalanche for the TV title in the main event. That sounds fun. And we could definitely do some shenanigans off this. Eddie, Avalanche. Oh, right, Eddie broke his fingies. Right, of course. Alright, never mind. Yeah, there's nothing. Let's look at storylines and see what's hot. Flair and Steamboat, of course. The meme feud. You know what? We could probably squeeze something out of the meme feud. Steiner's are always hot. So if we put the Steiners in a match, that'll get the fucking that'll trigger this storyline. But this time that'll work in our favor. So let's put the Steiners in a match. Whether it's a tag or a 6-man or whatever. They could team with Arn, because Arn's kind of... You know what? And Ric Flair did say that he had unfinished business, so he could do something. All right, let's do Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, and Arn wrestling fucking anybody. We don't even have the Spooky Boys, because I mean, Vampiro should at least sell for a week or two that he just got put in a coffin, right? I mean, it's the Horseman. There's always the Horseman for the 10 millionth time. But based on what we set up with the Horseman earlier, it wouldn't even make sense. So, I mean, Avalanche and Dave Finlay have been a team in the past when they were mad at. Man, this sucks. Uh, all right, we're just gonna do the Steiners versus Avalanche and Dave Finlay in the main event. Is that a good main event? No, but it's something. Is this like 12? Actually, should this be a wild brawl now that I think about it? Yeah, Finley's a really good brawler. Avalanche. Yeah, let's do a 12-minute wild brawl and see how that goes. And let's do a distraction finish too. Let's have Avalanche distracted by Kurt Hennig and Sherry. Let's have Sherry, like Sherry will be out there. She's managing Avalanche or whatever, and then Kurt. Let's have Kurt turn the tables. Let's have Kurt go out and hit on Sherry, and then this now Sherry will be the one that's like, no, stop. And this will lead to Scott pinning Dave Finlay, who's now on his own. All right, that's non-title match. All right, took us a little bit to get something, but we eventually got some moving pieces working together there. Arn, I guess Arn's just gonna cut a promo, man. All right, let's do this. Let's do in the ring, character development, 3 minutes. Eric Bischoff, I'm standing here with Arn Anderson. Arn, you came up short at Slamboree, but what's next for Arn Anderson in WCW? And, well, Eric, I didn't quite accomplish my goal of winning the WCW title, but before he can say much more, he's going to be attacked by Ric Flair. We should fix these storylines. This is still going. Flair Steamboat. I mean, Flair Steamboat is done, but it also has 96 heat, so I kind of want to keep it. But yeah, it's not. Well, let's do this. Let's take Arn out of the world title scene. And let's add. Yeah, let's end this. And let's simply add Tenryu and Arn to this. So they can all leech that heat. Funk Slinger, I guess, is still going. Henning Avalanche for sure. Mean Feud is over. US title still going. I guess we could add Eddie to the world title scene. And then US title. Oh, JPL. Well, JPL Terry Funk isn't happening yet. We'll do that later. And Steiners versus the Coven is also not well, we might as well start it. Let's just add a storyline called Saturday Tag Titles. Oh, you know what? I ended that Steiner storyline, and that was the whole reason that they were in the fucking main. Well, whatever. We have Henning and Avalanche. That'll carry it. Let's do a spooky pre-tape. kind of showing what happened at the end of the casket match. And then I guess we wouldn't really be hearing from Vampiro. Well, we could have Vampiro. Let's have Vampiro cut a promo from like a dark place where you can't see anything. Maybe it's supposed to be inside the casket. And he could talk about being reborn and having new chances and, you know, other cryptic bullshit. I really need Nick for the cryptic bullshit. He's so much better at that than I am. Steamboat. I think Steamboat's just going to have a match. Let's borrow somebody. Let's give a young guy the match of his life. How's D'Lo? D'Lo's okay. What are you getting in matches, D'Lo? 40s, not great. PCO's getting 55s. Is PCO a heel? He sure is. Eight minutes, Ricky Steamboat versus PCO. Now we're booking. We haven't done this, have we? No, that would have been crazy. Just checking. Cactus, and Dr. Death. Fighting backstage. Because these two, they just can't be stopped. Cactus. Williams, big backstage brawl. They're going to knock over all those pipes. They're all going to go clangy, clangy, clangy. Eddie is not really on the show. I don't really know what to do with him. Let's do this. Eddie Guerrero, 6-minute promo. I broke my fingers in the stupid casket match, but that's not going to stop me from being a fighting champion. The doctors have cleared me for next week, and next week I'm going to defend my TV title. This reminds me. Hey, Eddie Guerrero. Let me talk to you. How would you feel about losing a match to the one, the only, Jean-Paul Levesque? Ooh, you don't like it. All right. Well, that was Eddie Gilbert in the promo. Fuck. It sure was. Thank you, chat. I knew that would happen one of these days, and it almost did. We need to book some wrestling. We have Terry and Slinger. Battle Cat's just hanging around. At some point we have to just blow this off, but I don't know how, because Funk and Slinger don't have chemistry. So Terry Funk teaming with his good friend the Battle Cat to take on Richard Slinger and oh boy. Oh boy. Richard Slinger and Al Perez. Boy, I wonder who's losing this one. We need 2 more minutes. Oh yeah, Razor Ramon. We're burying him. Right. Yeah. Alright, who gets to squash Razor? See, the problem is that Razor's a face, and most of the people that I would want to squash him are also faces, right? Because, like, most of these guys... I mean, JPL's already beaten him, right? Right? Surely that was, like, the first thing we did, right? No? Oh, well then. Get your W, Jean-Paul. Razor Ramon might quit. He might quit right after this. What do we open? Oh, we got to open it with the Horseman being mad. And then Jean-Paul Levesque already in the ring, so he waits there for Razor, sure. Let's do our cryptic bullshit Vampiro promo up here. Let's put the Eddie promo up here. I don't think this show's very good. So I'm going to guess like an 84. But I don't know. We'll see. Weirder things have happened. Are we using Dave Finlay too much? No, just Razor Ramon's mad. Okay. I mean, good promo. JPL talked, and we still got a 92. Granted, you know, Tenryu talked and Ric Flair talked, who were probably helping out a lot. But JPL didn't oh, wait, no, JPL was a background player. I thought we rated him. That's my bad. He should have been rated. 67? That's fine. John Paul got a 67. Okay. $68 for Spooky Vampiro promo. 76. Oh, Battle Cat's like mad. Oh, I didn't think he was that. Okay, we got to fix that. Like, damn, I knew he didn't like losing to John Paul, but I didn't think he was like, you know, fuck this shit mad. Okay. Damn, sorry, Battle Cat. A 90 for these guys fighting? Hell yeah. An 80 for Steamboat and PCO? Yeah, Richard Slinger just wrestling Terry Funk in some way every week has been helping him, even though it has been the most middle of the road meandering ass feud. It does seem to be doing good for him. 89. They liked Arn talking, and they were less excited about the Flair beatdown. They were just like, oh, okay. Arn and Flair again, huh? Well, I guess not again. We didn't do the match. They should be more excited. 95 for Kurt being like, I don't care about this. You guys are weird. I have a wife. beat down in 3 minutes. He hit him, he kicked him, he strutted a little bit, he dropped an elbow on him, he strutted some more. It's Ric Flair. He'll make it 3 minutes. It's fine. 83 for this. Will this be better than the match that I booked in the main event? Because when I booked this match, I was like, this isn't a main event. It has Jun Akiyama in it. But at 80, it might be at or around the same level that our main event is. Ooh. Oh my? A 100 promo from Eddie Guerrero. We didn't even give him any good material. It's just like you broke your fingies. You're back next week. TV title match. Also, we were gonna do the thing next week where he dropped it to JPL, but I don't I don't know. He's not gonna do it. Oh, this got a 90? God, the Steiners are so good. Holy shit. Oh my god. They're never losing these titles. I don't care that we came up with a whole plan. Forget the plan. No, they should lose to Vampiro and Mortis. I don't know that they will. That's really going to be the problem. They might just say no. And then Rick will just have to turn heel and we'll have to vacate the titles. Which is probably also fine, if we're being honest. That probably is the easiest way to get the titles off them. Because none of the other tag teams we have are, like, even close. $93. That's how it goes. Sometimes you book a show on Nitro that you're like, hell yeah, this rocks. And then sometimes you book a show on Saturday that's like filler. It's promos and some filler matches. And you know what? People like good promos and filler matches. Sometimes that's all you need. I will say, while this is not like a main event level match, it would be sick. I would like to see the Steiner Brothers versus Avalanche and Dave Finlay. That sounds rad as hell. Can Magnum work heel? I have no idea, but Scott turning heel makes no sense. That is like, cutting off your nose despite your face or whatever. Like, Steve Austin's a heel. We're breaking up the tag team so Scott can wrestle for the world title. Like, it doesn't... That would be crazy. Unless we, like, have Steve lose it and then lose it but then we're doing a bunch of title changes for no reason. $600,000. Pop recap. Hey, Kyushu's up. We should do a show in Japan again. We are very popular there. We should probably just, like, do Nitro in Japan once in a while. Since, most of the roster is Japanese and everything. What's this? Yep, there it is. I was not joking. Alright, thanks for coming. I mean, not really. Alright, this time for real, we are not hiring Scott Hall again. We're done. We're finished. We made this mistake twice now, where we were like, oh, I'm going to fire Scott Hall. And we brought him right back. No more Scott Halls. Can we bring like a Scott Hall substitute, just like mid-card guy that can lose? Doesn't matter if they can work in the USA. Let's just hire wrestler, pop in the USA of like 45 or higher. It's mostly old guys. We could bring Bobby Eaton back. Bull Payne has 50 pop? Why? Chat, are we going to hire Bull Payne? He's certainly the youngest person here that fits the criteria. Why are stats good? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like we shouldn't be hiring Bull Payne, but I think we're going to hire Bull Payne. Kevin Sullivan has good stats too. And I assume he's popular. Yeah, I mean, not like mega popular, but he's popular. Actually, he's not that much more popular than fucking Bull Payne. What has Bull Payne been doing in this universe that has gotten him... Oh, he's quite banged up. Chat, is that something that he recovers from, or... I think we made that mistake with Gary Albright, where I signed him even though he was banged up, and he's been very bad. What are you actually getting in matches, Bull Payne? Uh, 56. That's it's okay. 63. Gary was old. That is true. He's young. He'll recover. Okay. All right, Bull Payne. Can you talk? Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, Bull Payne's in. Yeah, you don't have to do house shows. That's fine. Do I want to bring in Kevin Sullivan? Oh, Kevin Sullivan would probably be good to team with Vampiro. Because, like, Mortis... We like Mortis. Mortis is good. Mortis can't hold the tag titles. He has, like, 20 pop. Maybe Kevin Sullivan can come in and, like, resurrect Vampiro from the dead or whatever. Although I guess we kind of already said that he's not dead or whatever. But you get what I'm saying. We could do something where Kevin Sullivan comes in and... I don't know. We could do some shit. Kevin Sullivan, 1 year. You probably don't want to do house shows either. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead one day because I don't think we're doing Super Beerness. It's already pretty late. When is Barry Windham back? Great question. Not for a long time. Or somehow still coming back quicker than Liger though. That's fucked up. All right, Bash is still a month away, so we're gonna be grinding away for a while here. Yeah, he's in super rehab. Oh, El Matematico is retiring. I'm going to be so out of it next stream when we do Super Beerness because it's going to be 2 streams since I've done one. But we're going to do it. That's going to be it. We will be back next Tuesday. We'll start with Super Beerness. We'll see how many shows we can get through. We're still a bit a ways from the Great American Bash. So we will be on TVs for a little bit here. But hey, we got Bull Payne and Kevin Sullivan coming in. So fucking get ready for that. And then, of course, Thursday, WWE vs. TNA 2004, Episode 2. Episode 1 seemed to go very well. We got a lot set up. We booked our shows. Nick didn't steal as many people from me as I thought he would, although some of the people he stole were weird. Um, so tune in for that. Also, if you missed it or didn't see it, he's booking Raw and Velocity. I'm booking Impact and Explosion to keep it so it's not, Nick booking WWE all stream. But yeah, it's the early part of the save. We're going to be figuring out who's good at what. And also, he's going to have a pay-per-view, like, immediately. I think he's going to book Backlash. Or, he's going to book It All Begins Again, because he changed the name. So he'll have a pay-per-view, like, right off the bat, which is going to be super interesting how he throws that together. So tune in for that. And that's going to do it. I'll see y'all on Thursday or next Tuesday. Bye.